What's indeed going on, Jerome's? So the path to the draft starts this week. Well, it started last week with the Shrine Bowl, but you know what I mean. But the Reese's Senior Bowl gets down and dirty this week in Mobile, Alabama. Now, practices, talk about practice, are way more important than the game. In fact, why even have the game? Like, I get it's great for the city of Mobile, but I don't know, man. But two quarterbacks on the squads have a major opportunity this week to help propel themselves up draft boards, and that is Penix of Oregon, formerly of Auburn, as well as Michael Penix Jr., national title game participant at Washington, also formerly at Indiana. And for us, I feel like they're guys that it wouldn't shock you if they end up in the first round, because quarterback tax is real, and this is potentially one of the deeper quarterback classes in NFL history. I do think that Williams, May, and Daniels will be win, play, show 1, 2, 3, but with a solid performance this week at the Senior Bowl as well as Combine Pro Day. I understand that it's the underwear Olympics, but there's a lot of questions about the prospects, and scouts, coaches, decision makers, they want to see players up close and personal. Like how, I mean, literally, like you can watch all the tape and film that you want, but how does a player look to you 20/20 vision, eye to eye? How do they react in practice? How do they work with their teammates? How do they respond to coaching? Like everything they want to know is going to happen, even though all the games are done. So I do think that Penix and Nix are in a slight strata above J.J. McCarthy, even though I think he has a lot of tools. Would it shock me if 5-6 quarterbacks goes in the first round? No. Wouldn't shock me at all. And also, I think with a strong showing at the Senior Bowl as well as Combine Pro Day, I think that Penix Jr. and Bo Nix could certainly climb up boards. And of course, it always comes back to us, the Minnesota Vikings. Now, unless the Vikings trade up, they're probably not going to be in the Caleb Williams, Drake May, Jaden Daniels business. But I do think that Penix will be there at 11. I think Bo Nix will be potentially in play at 11 as well. Maybe even J.J. McCarthy in the teens, depending on how his offseason goes. But there are a lot of questions. And Penix, I mean, age, even though Bo Nix is older, as well as health. He's torn both ACLs, shoulder issues, durability, size, all that stuff is perfectly valid. But Penix, over the last 2 years in Washington, really got things done for the Huskies. We got Kalen DeBar's the Alabama job. Roll Tide. Let's go. But even though he tore up Texas, which is a top-flight defense, like a Kleenex at a snot party, everyone's going to remember what happened in the national title game. I mean, Michigan was a bad team, man. That defense was damn legit. I mean, first off, I think the 2001 Hurricanes and probably like the 06 USC Trojans would starch the Michigan Wolverines from last year, but I want to see that defense versus those offenses. That'd be great, man. But everyone remembers Michael Penix just not having a good day, didn't have protection. His running back Dylan Johnson was dinged up very early on, and he was off the mark too. Let's be honest here, where he wasn't getting any help and he had himself a bad day, so it was just bad all the way around. But questions for Penix. Are there any lingering health issues from the national title game? Because he was limping out there pretty good, and he was holding his side. Maybe he had a rib issue too, but that's going to be a question too, because in the NFL, like, you are going to take some hits, and beyond just his health issues with his knees and his shoulders, like, does he have the size to be able to hold up to a pounding every single week in the league? Mentally overcoming adversity. So, I mean, Penix has had some ups and downs in his career, sure, but I mean, that has to be the worst. I mean, you get torn up, you have your worst game over the last 2 years, your worst game in Washington on the national stage. You had a national title in your grasp and had it ripped away. Like, how do you respond? Like, how do you recover from that? Because not everything in the pros is going to be sunshine and rainbows. You got to be mentally tough enough to not only raise your game again, but also those around you. Processing time in a pro-style offense. Now, if you watch Penix tape, you always just feel like things are just like a quarter second too slow, and you got to speed things up, especially coming to the National Football League. And I love Penix's mechanics. I think that his release is like a little bit more orthodox Phillip Rivers, even though he is left-handed. I mean, that ball just pops out of that left hand, man. It is fantastic. But He's got to be able to speed things up. Also, working in a pro-style offense, working a lot more under center, working play action, all that stuff. I think that does come into play. Also showing better touch, not just fastballs. He's got probably the best arm talent in the class, and he does have accuracy, but it just seems like some of the underneath touch passes or flipping a ball to the tight end over a linebacker outstretched, like can he do that? Or is it just going to be all gas, no brakes? And also, drop down in skill position talent. So obviously that's a little facetious, but Rome Odunze, Jalen Polk, Jalen McMillan, as well as Dylan Johnson on the backfield. That is NFL caliber at the skill positions at UW. So obviously he's going to be working with some great talent there in Mobile at the Senior Bowl too. But and with Bo Nix. So Bo Nix is a fun story. So Bo Nix at Auburn, not great, but transferring to Oregon, he's really found himself, and also that Dan Lanning offense in Eugene has been fantastic. Now, yes, it is a little bit collegiate. Yes, it is a little bit dink and dunk. Yes, it is a little bit one read. But you can't sneeze at Bo Nix stats over the last 2 years. This season, 45 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, 188.3 quarterback rating. Now remember that the college quarterback rating is different than NFL. Goes up to 158.3. Theoretically, the college quarterback rating is unlimited. So there you go. And also passing for 4,500 yards, completing 77.4% of his passes, which just shows you. So he had like a 73% completion percentage at Oregon. Just shows you the type of throws that he was making out there. And with Nix, there are several questions. Can he play in structure where he's great at making plays outside of structure, outside of the framework of the offense, which could come in handy. He's very good at improvising. He is a very solid athlete. He's not a running quarterback, but he's a quarterback who can run, and that does have value at the next level. But also, he doesn't have the strongest arm in the world. Now, I think him and Jordan Travis are sort of in the same area where they do have accuracy underneath. They are solid leaders, but can you drive the ball outside the numbers on a 15-yard dig or a 15-yard out? Can you do that at the next level on a cold, rainy night in Chicago? That's a major question. Also, footwork progression. Yeah, I feel like since the Oregon offense gets the ball out so quick, like there isn't the attention to detail with the footwork like you're going to have in the National Football League. Also, that could help his velocity as well as his quote-unquote arm strength is if he's throwing from base more often and also sitting for a year or two and getting that fixed with NFL caliber coaching certainly could be beneficial for him. Also, not picking on Bo Nix, but this is eye-opening. So the major knock against Bo Nix is the collegiate style offense as well as his can he throw the ball downfield? That's literally the only question with Bo Nix, but this is eye-opening. So Nix's average depth of target. So how many yards does the ball go in the air to what he's thrown to? So taking away yards after catch, taking away yards per attempt, etc. But his ADOT was 6.8 yards, which ranked 93rd out of 95 qualifying FBS quarterbacks, which is interesting. For comparison, like Drake May was friggin' slanging it, man. 11.0. Penix also 10.7. Jaden Daniels up there 10.5. Sam Hatman also 10.2. And Jordan Travis was interesting. 31. 31st in FBS at 10 even. And again, Jordan Travis does not have the strongest arm in the world either. J.J. McCarthy, dynamite, but also I think that's more of a function of the Michigan system. And then Caleb Williams 9.2. That's the Jordan Addison effect, man. Like when you're not trusting your weapons downfield, you're going to be checking it down quite a bit when you're playing hero ball. But that's it. Also, you're moving second to third reads now. This is also a question with Penix to a degree, but with Nix, especially in that Oregon offense, it was one read, maybe two, and just go. But going into an NFL pro-style offense, which is also his fifth question, how is that going to work? How is he going to operate more under center, working from play action, working from multiple field reads? How is that going to translate from college? But overall, I do really like Penix and Nix quite a bit. I think that they will be first-round picks. I think that they will have value. I think that they're a little bit different because if you draft Drake May or Caleb Williams, they're starting day one. Jaden Daniels, could go either way. I would prefer if he sat. But you look at Penix, Nix, McCarthy, they would very much benefit from sitting for a year. Also, Spencer Rattler has a great opportunity, and also Pratt at the Senior Bowl too. Also Hartman too, and also Joe Milton. Everyone's at the Senior Bowl. Shoot. But I do think that in the right situation, Nix and Penix can certainly thrive there. But also, I not to be superstitious, but I'm a little stitious. Hopefully the Vikings just watch practice and just ignore the game, because the game is the game is the game. It's whatever. So, I mean, Christian Ponder was 2011 Senior Bowl MVP. Kellen Mond was 2021 Senior Bowl MVP. So hopefully neither of them win 2024 Senior Bowl MVP. So I'm not saying, I'm just saying. Anyways, your thoughts are thoughts. Major week and opportunity for Bo Nix as well as Michael Penix Jr. Let us know your thoughts and our thoughts in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support the work? Put a little something in the Venmo. But until next time, Skol, production value.